Ronin Pro Wrestling, Broward College Gym. We're here in Pembroke Pines in South Florida. Simon Grimm, also Simon Gotch from WWE and NXT. You made your debut tonight for Ronin. What was it like for you being here? You had a match against Aaron Epic and just being in front of this crowd, being in South Florida. What was it like?
It's a lot of fun, actually. I was just down here last week for
BluePrint Pro.
So this is sort of the first few times I've really done anything in Florida in the past year, with the exception of MLW. So it's nice to sort of branch out and do some more local stuff. It is a change of pace because I was sleeping in my own bed tonight. I'm still out of Orlando, which is always a plus. And this is a little bit more relaxed than last week. I came down this morning. I did a seminar over at Gangrel School, the Gangrel Wrestling Academy, which again, if you're in the South Florida area, it's a wonderful training facility. And then I came here, obviously had the show, but last week I was actually, Thursday obviously we had MLW taping, and Wednesday we had pre-tapes for MLW. And so Wednesday, pre-tapes for MLW that went from noon to 10 p.m. Then 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. I'm at the MLW taping. Then 4:30 in the morning I have to be at the airport because I've got a show that Friday night in, where is it? Hermiston, Oregon, which is 3 hours east of Portland. So I wake up 4:30 in the morning, get my 6 a.m. flight, fly to Hermiston, Oregon, or fly to Portland, drive 3 hours, wrestle, go to drive 3 hours back, the car breaks down. We have to actually, I have to book another flight because my flight back, we're not gonna make it to the airport in time. So we're on the roadside for 2 hours. I land in Miami at, I think it was it was 6:10 p.m. 6:10 p.m. The show starts at 7. It's an hour away from the BluePrint show. So then I had to go walk right out, rent a car, drive to BluePrint, go right into the building. I think my match, I had like an hour before my match. And then still a 3-hour drive home. So this week, much lower stress, much more relaxed.
Now, fortunately, you didn't get any speeding tickets traveling from the south up to BluePrint.
I'm actually a very conscientious driver.
So even so, you were like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not going to pass the speed limit or whatever like that.
Well, they said I wasn't, they're like, you probably won't be on until about 9. I was like, okay, well, it's 6 now, so I've got about 2 hours. I'm good. 2.5, depending with traffic or if I have to stop to get food or something, but yeah.
Well, what's it like working the Indies, working the South Florida Indies, because now you've had 2 weeks in a row of doing that?
It's a lot of fun. Again, it's nice to do some stuff that's more closer to home. Again, it's a lot of stress and a lot of demand when you have to go. If I'm going up to New York or I'm going out to Chicago or I'm going out to Oregon or in California, I think next week I've got a double shot in California for Bumps and Brews and Maverick Pro. So it's one of those things where those shows, like California, even if I get the earliest flight possible, I'm not getting home till 3 p.m. I'll leave here at maybe 11:30. I'll be home by 2:30 in the morning. Go to bed, wake up at 8, have breakfast. Everything's good. Go to the gym, no big deal.
A lot of opportunities for you. Is this because of what you were able to do with WWE NXT that it has given you the opportunity to work all these different indie shows around the country?
It definitely gave me a bigger platform. That's something that it gave me the opportunity for a lot more people to see me, and again, having any time on television, regardless of how limited it is a big selling point for a lot of promotions and independents, because you have fans that don't necessarily know, say, someone like a Jason Cade, very talented, or who's another example, Barrington Hughes, very talented. They might not know those guys by name, but if you put me on a poster and you can put that WWE logo on there, they can at least Google me and go, oh, okay, that guy, I remember him. I'll go see him. And then they get the opportunity to see guys who are extremely talented, who will actually, they go, oh, hey, I might not have known, again, Barrington or Cade or Papa Don,
Alex
Chamberlain, or Aaron Epic,
Mick Drake, Aaron Epic.
I might not know those guys, and of course Effie. He wasn't here tonight, but gotta bring Effie up. but they might not know those guys by name, but all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, I like that guy, or I like the big guy, or like, oh, I like that guy who did the flip. And now all of a sudden they're not just coming because they saw a WWE logo on a poster, they're coming because they enjoy the show, which is ultimately your goal. You want to expand your fan base, and I'm glad to be able to help in any way I can promotions in South Florida or in Florida in general to expand their audience a little bit so they can see these guys, because there's a lot of talent here who doesn't necessarily get noticed.
That's what I was going to bring up, because now that you're working indies, and you've been in Florida for a while, so you're going to see the indies in Florida. Right, there is a lot of talent in Florida.
Oh, yes.
Wrestling up and down the coast here and all. You got involved with MLW, so I was going to ask you about that. What about MLW? It's on bein Sports.
Oh, yes, bein Sports.
TV.
Which, I'm going to sound terrible when I say this. I haven't had regular television in about 7 years. So I didn't know bein Sports as far as their full scope. And then it was explained to me they're actually, I think, the largest international sporting station in the world. If you see an NFL game anywhere outside of the U.S., I don't mean played outside the U.S., I mean anywhere on television outside the U.S. If you go to England and see the NFL, if you go to Europe or anywhere else in Europe, South America, wherever, and you see an NFL game, that game is being presented on a bein Sports channel. They have the contract for international rights for NFL. I think for the LPGA too, as well as like women's tennis. They've got the number 2 and 3 football, soccer leagues in Europe, which I believe are Italy and Spain. But it's a really big channel, so for MLW to have a show on there is actually a really big deal. And also, bein Sports is kind enough to offer the MLW shows on their YouTube channel, which you can look up. So if you miss an episode, or if you don't have bein Sports, you still have access to the show. And you get to see some really talented guys doing some really entertaining stuff.
How did you get that opportunity?
Oh, well, in no small part, obviously, I've known a lot of the guys who are involved in MLW for a long time. Mr. St. Laurent, obviously, I've known years back when I was in Florida in '06. Court Bauer actually is friends with one of the guys that trained me, Mike Modest. And then on top of that, obviously, I knew a lot of people who were working there. Actually, my jiu-jitsu coach, Seth Petruzelli, was working there at the time, as well as Tom Lawler, who I had a really good match with for Prestige Wrestling in Oregon, which is available on their YouTube channel for free. So there were just a lot of people who were able to sort of put in a word, and again, I'm local, so it helps. I finish, if I leave an MLW show at 10 p.m., I'm at home by 10:10. I'm in my own shower, in my own bed. So that's a nice bonus for me. So, and it's also a platform to do what I do on television and not necessarily have the restrictions that unfortunately WWE product sometimes has. I'm more capable of getting just come up with my own. If I want to do a promo, I can say my own words. If I want to do a match, I can have my own match. I don't have to worry about anyone micromanaging me. So now I sort of get to live and die on my own sword.
You mentioned Seth. Was Seth the guy that beat Kimbo Slice?
He is, though. So the story behind that was that Seth Petruzelli was an alternate. They called him because the guy Kimbo was really supposed to face dropped out at the last minute, like literally day of, and he accepted the fight. And the whole deal was, his logic was, well, worst case scenario, I lose, but they see that, I'm hungry and I'm willing to go out there and I did them a favor and I'll get another opportunity. Best case scenario, maybe I'll get lucky. And I think he caught Kimbo with some punches right off the bat, knocked him out in like 60 seconds or less. I sort of begrudgingly tell that story because the nickname he got after that was the Kimbo Killer. And when Kimbo passed earlier this year, he was very adamant. He's like, guys, I know this has been my nickname for a long time. I'd really appreciate if you not refer to me as that ever again. Because he felt it was disrespectful to who he straight up said was a nice guy. He had no issue with Kimbo. He's like, it's a fight. It's your job. You go out there and you do your job. So, yeah, but he's a really good dude. I train at the Jungle in Orlando. I try to get in as much as I can. Usually it's about once a week, but it's nice to get in there and roll. Actually, I get to work out with Jack Gallagher. He trains there as well. Sarah Logan, and I don't know what they're calling him on the NXT TV, Ray Rowe, but they actually do their Viking fight training stuff there as well. So we get to see a lot of really good people work out there, and it's a lot of fun.